On today's Road and Track 3-lap review, we're going to take a look at the 2018 McLaren 720S.
It's the Road and Track Performance Car of the Year.
It also looks like an alien Smurf.
No, it looks like Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That movie's about 20 years old.
Yeah, but that movie's good. This car's good. Let's go drive it. This is the McLaren 720S. 710 horsepower. 4-liter V8.
Put that in perspective, it weighs 2,800 pounds. That's 200 pounds. That's an entire, medium-sized adult dude lighter than a Porsche Boxster, than
the Lamborghini Huracan?
Than the Huracan. It's the same weight as a first-generation M3, BMW M3, but with 700 horsepower.
It weighs slightly more than the last generation Miata.
That's a lot. It's made of carbon fiber. It's got what they call the monocage. You know a little bit about that. What's the monocage? It sounds like nothing.
Sorry, I'm driving now. The monocage. So, the car's made out of all carbon fiber. The wing popped up in the back. You can probably see it in the camera. The monocage. The car's made out of all carbon fiber. It's got this carbon fiber cell, and the roof now is included in that. So this center line down the roof is part of this cage in the car. So you can create an incredibly stiff and incredibly light piece of engineering magic, as they would say.
What's crazy about this thing to me is how forgiving and compliant it is for being so absurdly, just outlandishly batshit fast. There was a point earlier today doing lapping testing where there's a chicane. There's like an 80, 90 mile an hour chicane on the front straight of this track. Right. And I put it in the chicane on full ABS and then put a wheel up on the curb on these jagged gator strips. And the car got a little loose, just a little sideways, and I kept my foot in it and it didn't care. Most supercars, most road cars, you load them like that, you subject them to that much transition and that much just weirdness all at once, and they go, no, and they spin, or they get sideways, or they just generally don't like it. And this thing was just kind of like, no, buddy, it's cool. We're good, it's fine.
The thing about this is that it's really friendly, but it also doesn't make you feel like it's doing everything for you. It's like a Lotus Evora, which is a weird comparison to make, because an Evora is a 400 horsepower, small British car. This is a big, fast carbon fiber British car. But at any speed, this car is a ton of fun, and it feels alive, and the steering is some of the best steering in any car that's on sale today. And the braking is amazing, and the power is unreal.
This is a very British philosophy, the notion that sports cars should still be compliant and usable and soft. It's because they shouldn't be work to drive quickly. British back roads are all lumpy and nasty and up and down, and this is good on that. Supercars aren't supposed to be good in tight confines. They're supposed to be built for long, fast straightaways and big, fast corners, and just so friendly. I can't think of another sports car or supercar on the market that is this capable and this agreeable at the same time.
It's not just comfortable for a supercar either. It's like the suspension's comfortable for any car. It rides better than probably any car out there. The way it looks too, it looks like a spaceship landed on 4 wheels just somewhere, because it's got these big eye sockets up front to direct air into the radiators. It's got the carbon fiber monocage, adds 2 really thin rear pillars here. They put glass over them. You can see out of this car. You can't see out of other supercars, right?
That's the thing. You sit here and your peripheral vision catches the rear window, which means you feel like you're sitting in a canopy of glass. The closest thing, I'm going to sound like a dick here, but the closest thing, the only car I've driven that felt remotely like this was a McLaren F1, where you're sitting smack in the middle.
Sam drove a McLaren F1.
I drove a McLaren F1. But you're sitting smack in the middle, and the car feels built around you, and just forgiving and friendly, and it's just, Jesus Christ, it's nothing. What's important here is the fact that this is a healthy dose of the future, packaged in something that feels deeply old school, but without old school compromises.
Right.
It looks outlandish. It doesn't adhere to any of the traditional supercar styling rules, but all of it's done to move air around. All of it's done for functional purposes. And then when you get in it, you just don't care, because it's so good. It's so forgiving and friendly, and it talks to you, and it's fast as balls. Most cars that are the future, that pack a whole lot of technology into a tiny package for the sake of performance, sacrifice feel. This doesn't. It doesn't, there's no trade-off. It doesn't give up anything to do what it does, and it does it better than just about anything else I can think of on the market.
It's the future and the past combined to make something incredible that's going to be incredible now, and I think will be the blueprint for every supercar and sports car going forward.
It's a hell of a thing.